When my grandfather passed away, I inherited his sprawling ranch, miles of open land, oak groves, and a wide stretch of fields that had been in our family for generations. The paperwork was clear: surveys, titles, and maps marking every acre. It was a bittersweet gift, but one I intended to honor. The shock came only weeks later, when a crisp letter arrived from the local HOA. They claimed that by annexing the ranch into their community, I owed them $350,000 in fees, a sum so absurd I almost laughed. At the bottom of the letter was the signature I'd soon become familiar with: HOA President Karen. I called the number on the letter, and Karen answered in her usual clipped tone. She said, "Pay the dues or face liens and legal consequences. That land is now under HOA control." Her arrogance was unreal. I calmly explained that my ranch predated the HOA by nearly a century and that her board had no jurisdiction over private property outside their plotted neighborhood. She dismissed me with a scoff and a threat to take this further. That's when I decided to do a deeper dive into the county records. What I found nearly made me laugh out loud. The HOA neighborhood, the manicured cul-de-sacs, rows of cookie-cutter houses, even the clubhouse they were so proud of, sat squarely on my grandfather's land. Decades ago, a shady developer had built it without properly purchasing the acreage. Instead, they leased it, and when the lease expired, the property rights reverted back to my family. In other words, I didn't owe them a dime. They owed me everything. Armed with maps, deeds, and county records, I showed up at the next HOA meeting. Karen greeted me with her usual smugness, clearly expecting a confrontation. I let her rant about unpaid obligations before calmly laying the documents on the table. The room fell silent as I explained the situation. Not only did they have no claim over my ranch, but their entire neighborhood, including Karen's own house, sat on my land. Gasps rippled across the room. Karen's face drained of color as board members flipped through the papers. By the end of the meeting, the HOA board wasn't threatening me anymore. They were begging to negotiate. Karen tried to recover her authority, but her voice cracked, and no one backed her up. As I left, I couldn't resist a final word. Next time you demand $350,000, make sure you're not living rent-free on someone else's ranch. Now the neighborhood is scrambling, lawyers circling, and Karen's power crumbling. Me? I still walk my land every morning, proud of my grandfather's legacy, knowing I hold the keys to their future.